Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Vaughn, and I am here with Jordan Smith. You may know Jordan as season nine's winner of The Voice, but Jordan, you and I share a little bit of something in common you may not know about. Even though we went to different universities, we had one of the same vocal professors, Ron Brindle.
Oh, yeah, I love Dr. Brindle. He's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so long ago, though, his daughter that has graduated college now was a newborn. So that's how long ago I was in his.
Gotcha. See, she graduated just after I was at Lee. So yeah,
Okay.
there's a little bit of time difference
Yeah,
there.
a little bit, but he's a great professor. And I remember how proud he was of watching you through the entire series of The Voice season nine. And we were all rooting for you because of that connection. And that was really exciting to see somebody come out openly as a Christian singer. And now you're the highest selling winner from the show. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that whole time of my life, the whole period of time was just incredible. It was so crazy. Um, the energy just of all the good things that were happening, all the exciting things that were happening. My family got to be a part of that time with me. My Lee University family, as you mentioned, was so supportive. My hometown was so supportive. So I really felt just so much love and support. And I felt so many people lifting me during that time. There was just an excitement in the air, I think, for all of us. And so it was just a really fun time. I actually love looking back on that time because I have so many fond memories of just that feeling of like the excitement in the air, knowing that this was such a big deal to so many people, and so many people were just inspired by my time on the show. So I look back on the entire experience very fondly, and I love talking about it. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're here today to talk though about your newest single, Great You Are. Great Are You? I'm sorry, I got that all mixed up in my head with the hymn. So Great
No,
Are
that's
You.
great. You are. You got it. You got it right.
Okay, all right. But this is such a powerful, powerful song. Where did this come from inside of you?
You know, Great You Are is actually the first of a collection of new songs that are finished and that are hopefully going to be heard by the world very soon.
Mhm.
Um, and honestly, we chose it as the first single because I think it's a really important statement from me as an artist.
Mhm.
It was an important statement for me to write as a songwriter and a believer. I've lived in this space as an artist ever since my time on The Voice,
Right.
where I've been able to make music where people from all different walks of life are able to be inspired by it and connect to it and enjoy it, but also be uplifted and find hope in it. And so for me, a lot of what I've written up to this point sort of has, it definitely has undertones of faith. It definitely has undertones of my spirituality, but it's sort of open to interpretation.
Right.
And at this point in my career, as a songwriter and as an artist, I just felt it was important for me to be able to make this bold, outright statement of faith and of worship to God. And so we wrote the song Great You Are, and it is that. It is a bold statement from me to God, just saying, you know, everything that I've gone through so far, every heartbreak, every blessing, all the good and bad, it's all for you. It's all for your glory. And all I want to just do is be a reflection of his love and his goodness to the world. And so I think as an artist, it's important, but also as a listener, I think it's important for people to be able to take this song and make it their personal song of worship to the Lord as well.
Yeah, I love that. Most people don't know that you are a very, very good songwriter. You are. I mean, you've written with everybody, and I mean, you wrote a song Celine Dion has sung. So that is absolutely an amazing gift that God has given you. And I love the fact that you're now using it more and more and more as a Christian artist. And you signed this new album that will come out is on Providence Label, which is a Christian label. And I'm really excited to see what's coming up next with that. Do you know when a full project will be coming out?
Yeah, it's been really cool. As you were saying, it's been really cool as a songwriter over the last few years. I have worked with some really incredible people and some of the best songwriters out there. And for me, you know, as a kid growing up, just like making songs in my bedroom, I never expected that that would become part of something that I would get to do every day for the rest of my life. And so it's been so rewarding and challenging and growing and often terrifying because, you know, it's not something that I ever thought I would share with the world. And now I'm like having to be vulnerable and put my heart out on paper and in this music. So it's been really cool to grow through this journey, not only as a singer and an artist, but as a songwriter as well. And then when we wrote these songs and I partnered with Provident to be able to release them, they were so supportive of that. They wanted me to be involved creatively. And this is actually the project that I have been most creatively involved from start to finish. I wrote these songs with other songwriters. I was very involved in the production process with our producer and executive producer, every step of the way, even through a pandemic, which was a very interesting process, all the way to now in the release. So we're working really hard. We don't have an exact date just yet, but we're working really hard to get the music ready to be heard by everybody. And honestly, tomorrow couldn't be good enough for me. I'm so ready for the world to hear these songs.
What's next on your plate? Do you know?
I think that this last year, this whole season of life that we've all been experiencing, it almost feels like pressing the pause button in a way.
Yeah.
You know, life has been so crazy for so many people, and we've all just sort of had to hunker down and focus on making it and focus on surviving. And so for me, I'm really excited to share what I've been working on during that time. I finished a whole record during the pandemic, which, like I said, was very interesting. We had musicians from all across the country tracking these songs, and I sang all the background vocals myself. I wasn't in the studio with any other musicians. It was just me and a producer far apart in the studio. So it was really interesting to sort of work through this music in that way. But now next for me is just releasing this music. And then I want to, you know, be able to get in front of people and sing these songs in a safe, fun way, obviously, but I'm just ready to get back out there. I want to tour. I want to see people. I want to meet people. And I just want to see where this new music leads, because for me, I've been listening to these songs for the last year, and they're songs of hope and encouragement and of strength. And they've gotten me through so much in this sort of crazy season of life personally.
Yeah.
And I know that they're going to be that for so many more people. So I'm just looking forward now to being able to share them.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear them. So do you have a favorite song or lyric that you've written?
Hmm. There are a few lyrics that I really love. In Great You Are, one of my favorite lyrics actually is the lyric that says, "My life sings hallelujah." It seems very simple and very short, but whenever you like unpack that idea that the way we live our lives every day is sometimes our loudest and biggest form of worship to the Lord, that's a really powerful statement if you think about it. I mean, we can confess him with our mouths, but you know, it's time we put our money where our mouth is, and when we show his love to the world and we show our worship to him through our actions and the way that we treat others, that becomes our loudest hallelujah in our lives. So I really love that lyric. There's also some really good lyrics in some of the new songs that no one's heard yet that I really love. One of my favorite lyrics, probably that I've ever written, is in one of the new songs. And it says, "I'm afraid that God won't look at me the same." And I think that we all have felt that way. And sometimes we're just afraid to admit it.
Yeah.
So I was a little nervous about putting that in a song at first, but I think it's a feeling we can all relate to. Sometimes we mess up. Sometimes we give in to fear. Sometimes we fall to temptation. Sometimes, you know, we find ourselves in a dark place and we worry if God will look at us the same. We wonder if this changes how he feels about us.
Yeah.
And I just think that everybody's going to really relate to that line and that feeling. But the good news is nothing changes that. He loves us unconditionally, and there's nothing we can do to change his perception of us. He already loves us. So, but yeah, that's another one of my favorite lyrics that has made its way into a song so far.
I love that. I can't wait to hear that song. So take that question and turn it around. Is there a lyric or song that you wish you had have written?
Oh my gosh, there are so many songs I wish I'd written. Oh, that is such a good question. Oh. Um, as far as okay, I'll break it into categories. There's a worship song I wish I had written, and it's called "So Will I." And obviously, like everybody knows that song and loves it. But I just think that song is so beautifully written. It's Hillsong, so beautifully written. The whole song itself is a story. I just love this song. "So Will I." Um, CCM world. Let me think. I love the song "Run to the Father." I think the lyric, "My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend." Like, come on, Matt Meyer, like, whatever. That's amazing. And then Sarah Bareilles is one of my favorite songwriters, just like ever in the history of the world. Um, and there's too many lyrics of hers to count. But there's a song called Islands. It's probably one of my favorite songs by her. And the whole thing lyrically is just like, it's like a poem. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Isn't it interesting when you hear a song and you're like, I could have done that, but I really couldn't have, but I wish I could have.
I know, I'm like, man, why didn't I think of that? It's like these crazy inventions I see online now. I'm like, I've seen on TV, I'm thinking, I could have totally done that and made millions of dollars off of that idea. And it just didn't hit me.
Well, Jordan,
totally.
Is there a message of hope that you'd like to leave for our viewers today?
Yeah, I think that it has been such an interesting season. And thankfully I'm hoping, fingers crossed, please Lord, on the other side of it, and starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel. And for me, I've been through so much the last year, and I've had so much that's brought me hope through this music, and looking forward to a brighter future. But there have also been dark times. My wife lost her grandfather last year. I lost my grandmother last year. Our family has been suffering with sickness and disease and just so many things. But in all of it, I'm able to look back now and see that even in pain, God is still working on our behalf. And even though we can't always see him, it's just like the sun behind the clouds in a storm. Even though we can't always see him, there are still areas of his warmth in our life. And we know that he's still there. He's still operating. So my message of hope is just, regardless of what the last year, 6 months, 2 months, couple of weeks have looked for you, God's still working. He's still behind the scenes. He's still actively involved in everything that happens in our lives. So don't fall into the trap of thinking that you're on your own, or that you're isolated, or that you're alone in what you're going through, because there are other people out there who love you and who are supporting you. And then you have a Father in heaven who is still working. He is still actively involved in everything that's going on. And that is a lesson I had to learn the hard way. And I hope that I can share it with everyone too, that he's still good.
He is. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for stopping by and talking to CCM today. And everybody go download Great You Are. It is a blessing to your soul, I feel like. So it's something that we all need to hear right now. Jordan, thanks so much.